Since the mid-1960s, Charlotte Motor Speedway has been host not only to NASCAR, but some of the world's premier racing series. And once again, the race cars of Thursday Night Thunder bring the action to the Queen City. Noah Belleville lines up on the inside of cousin Cody Pennell for 133 laps of action. I'm Rick James here to bring you uninterrupted green flag coverage from Charlotte Motor Speedway. TNT round 13 is green. Noah Belleville, Cody Pennell, and Jeremy Brio line up 1, 2, 3. Shout out to local Christian, Doug in the chat. Everybody here ready to rock. Christian says we're going to take this argument to the chat. Local cheering for that number 62 Wonderbread Dodge. Fans in the Pennsylvania area cheering for Jeremy Brio in that 7-4 Taco Bell Pepsi Chevrolet. He's now lined up behind two-time champion Tom Sears. Briley Wright in the 2.9 Shell Pennzoil machine sits behind him, and the two-time champion just went purple. 30.95 seconds for the Southampton, Massachusetts native. Coming up behind Sonoma winner Noah Belleville. The 213simler.com Supra to the inside. He's going to go left of that Valvoline Menards Chevrolet and go to the top spot. Tom Sears, new leader at Charlotte. Salem, South Carolina's Jason Alexander in that blue 5.6 Camaro liveried machine. Reigning champion Thomas Andrews behind him in that number 2. The New Jersey driver lines up ahead of Greensburg, Kentucky's Cody Riggs in that number 3 machine. And you're going to start to see pink all over the place. Trying to raise some awareness for breast cancer and those affected by it. Good to see Cody racing for a good cause. He's not the only Kentucky pilot racing for a good cause tonight. How about the 7-8 car of Toby Estes? That Budweiser Chevrolet carrying pink stripes on that Dale Earnhardt car, as it would be. Becca Norman in the chat says, let's go Aiden, cheering for Aiden Norman in that 6-2. Aiden comes into this Thursday Night Thunder race trying to do the unprecedented, looking for that 6th victory this season. The rookie, with an average finish of 5th so far, lines up only 8 points behind two-time champion Tom Sears. Sears is out to a 0.4 of a second lead over Noah Belleville, who went green last time around. Fans, don't forget we're doing a giveaway tonight. You can see on Thursday Night Thunder and Rick James Twitter. We are giving away 2 Jeff Gordon diecast and a piece of Carl Edwards sheet metal. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win those prizes. A piece of Carl Edwards sheet metal and 2 Jeff Gordon diecast. 3 fans will win tonight. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win. Further on back, the KC Masterpiece. Seth Wansing in the number 9 Hot Hughes Chevrolet lining up behind another Jeff Gordon liveried machine. The 2.4 of Richie Catania, the Central Floridian, in the 8th position, coming up behind Toby Estes in that 7-8. So close between them. And cousin Cody Pennell has caught up to Tom Sears. This is the view from the 14. Noah Belleville being shuffled back to the third position, so it is a Toyota Supra-led field. Cody Pennell's Mustang sits in second, and the Impala of Belleville in the bronze medal position. Jeremy Brio running a low line out of turn number 2. Different to those of his rivals around him. The number 74 has a mirror full of Kentucky as Toby Estes now takes the middle lane, and you can see that tail hanging out just a bit. We're going to see drivers giving some big tail whips. Look at Seth Wansing in the number 9 with a big tail whip, trying to get around to the outside of Ricardo Catania in that 2-4. And how about a local driver, one Ryan Pennell with a blink there. The native of Mooresville, North Carolina, has come home for his homecoming event. He's on the outside of Jason Alexander in that number 11. Big fan of the University of North Carolina, Ryan. Cheering for his Tar Heels this season, and hopefully some Tar Heels are going to be cheering for him as well. Pennell secures that top 10 position around South Carolina's Jason Alexander. Jimmy Kerr III sits ahead of Matthew Kent. The number 31 Chevrolet. That's not a Chevrolet. That is a Dodge Intrepid. Sits ahead of Elrich George in that number 40, the Sony Vega machine. Getting right to the left-hand side of that 31. Tom Sears continues to lead the race in that 14. Cody Pennell behind him by 0.7 of a second. Noah Belleville still in third in the top 5. Tighter than ever. Jeremy Brio being overtaken on the top side. Aiden Norman trying to do it the hard way in that 6'2 Wonder Bread Dodge. Norman moves into the top 5. Dustin Painter makes an appearance in that number 20. Big shout out. Oh, I'm sorry, the 00. That's John Honeybrink in the number 20. Dustin Painter almost makes contact with that 20 machine. Good to see Dustin Painter out on the track. Showing a little bit of love to Ryan Truex when Truex had that nationwide ride, that stark white Napa machine. Painter in the 19th position. Honeybrink in the 20th position. Patrick Allen rounding out the top 21 and just up ahead in that paint scheme that he's started to make his own. Virginia's very own Tommy Withers in that 18th position. Further up ahead, it's getting a bit tight between Elrich George, Matthew Kent. Here comes Tristan Catania behind the both of them. And the 75 of Jimmy Kerr III running in that 17th position. There goes the 40 of Elrich George. He's making moves on the inside of Kent in the 31. The Bahamian tries to make it stick for 14th. Sparks up ahead. Ryan Pennell with some big blinks, and he can see right there the number 12 of Pennell simply appearing and disappearing right before your eyes, showering sparks on the black number 2 of Thomas Andrews, the reigning champion, battling it out for the 11th position. That's going to be Jason Alexander behind him in the 5-6. Norman cracks the top 4. He's on the outside of Jeremy Brio, and he's made his way up into that 4th position. Local in the chat says Norman has some practice running the high side. I don't think I've ever gave him the choice to take the inside. We'll see just where Aiden Norman winds up. And fans, if you haven't yet, exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win. Becca Norman does it right there. She puts that into the Twitch chat. And for all the fans watching over on Roku as well, you get a chance as well. Just go ahead and pop that into the Twitch chat, exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win a Jeff Gordon diecast or that Carl Edwards sheet metal. You'll have to stay tuned for our podium interviews. Christian's in that giveaway as well. Tom Sears still leading the way by 0.4 of a second over Cody Pennell. But now Noah Belleville tries to get to the left-hand side of the Massachusetts driver. Belleville with a big skid out of turn number 4. Drag race across the line. Tom Sears leads it by 0.9 of a second. Belleville now tries to take the short way around turns number 1 and 2. Bounces off that blue line, starts drifting to the high side. Belleville kills his momentum, and Tom Sears will easily come away with the lead. Cody Pennell trying to gain some sort of ground on that 4-1, but taking it easy. We're only 19 laps into the race so far. Drivers can be expected to go between 35 and 40 laps on one green flag pit stop run. We'll see just how far they make it and if the caution plays any sort of factor. The number 40 of Elridge George from Nassau trying to get to the left-hand side of Cody Riggs. That's the fight for the 13th position. Thomas Andrews up ahead in that 12th spot. Further on back, Dustin Painter to the inside of Jimmy Kerr III. He's got 17th, and now he's hunting down Matt Kent for the spot. Toby Estes in that 7-8 won 4 races last season in Thursday Night Thunder. He's holding on to the coattails of that 6'2 Aiden Norman while he duels with Jeremy Brio, and this is what that looks like from the cockpit of number 9, Seth Wansing. Fight for the lead rages on. Tom Sears has led every lap thus far, but Noah Belleville wants to take the crown away. So far, the top 3 have a 1-second advantage over the rest of the field. Aiden Norman trying to break away from this secondary pack. The 7-8 of Toby Estes following that 6-2. Doug try one more time. Doug Norris tries to get in the giveaway there. It's got to be all one phrase. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 13. Try that without the quotation marks on the outside. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win. The number 9 of Seth Wansing really tightening the squeeze on the 7-4 of Jeremy Brio. Toby Estes sits behind them. Local in the chat says, let him keep fighting in the top 3. Norman is slowly gaining time over the last 5 laps. There's the difference between Aiden Norman and the top 3, which is now Tom Sears. That last time around on lap 24, Tom Sears 0.3 of a second slower than the 6-time winner. We've had a change for the lead as Noah Belleville now takes the top spot. Have a look. Textbook pass to the inside. This time he controls the back end of that 4-1. Valvoline Chevrolet has the advantage into turn number 1 and seals off the move. So the 4-1 of Belleville, leading only by 1/10 of a second. Cody Pennell is on the hunt in his 2.8 Ford. Race leader Noah Belleville hits the wall at a turn number 4. He gets a bit too wide for the racetrack. He's lost the lead. Here comes Seth Wansing to the inside of the number 41. And that Hot Hughes Chip Foose Chevrolet driven by Kansas City's Seth Wansing now locked in a drag race with the 41 of Belleville. But what damage does that 41 car have? See if you can keep your eye on the right-hand side of Belleville's machine. Look for scrapes. Oh, you can see the right front fender really dented on that 41. And that beautiful Dayglow paint has been scraped up. Have a look. See if we can find another look at Noah Belleville just scraping the wall here. Belleville just a bit too wide. And there you see Cody Pennell has a dent on the hood and possibly some damage on the right front corner. Tom Sears went to the inside, but he could not pull off the move for the lead. Pennell and Sears separated by a few tenths of a second, and look who's joined the top three. Aiden Norman on the outside of the Massachusetts pilot. He's trying to put his Wonderbred Intrepid in the top spot. .29 laps completed from the Charlotte Motors Speedway. Cody Pennell leads Aiden Norman by 0.4 of a second. Tom Sears dragging by half a second. Further on through this field, Jeremy Brio in that 7th position has Noah Belleville behind him. Jason Alexander 1.9 seconds off of Belleville. Local, as always, supporting Aiden Norman. The 2.9 of Briley Wright moves to the inside of Toby Estes. This is a battle for the 6th position between two drivers from Greensburg, Kentucky. 3 of the 4 Bluegrass Bandits, as they're known. Toby Estes and Briley Wright side by side. Well, they were. And Cody Briggs in the 17th position. He's 0.4 of a second behind Richie Catania. Christian says if only Aiden Norman had that Fig Newton sticker on the front of his car, he'd be gone. And I think he's even got the Ricky Bobby race suit on inside that car as well. Cody Pennell, 0.2 of a second, watches that 6-2 close in quicker and quicker. 32 laps underway, and Aiden Norman starting to line up the pass for the first position. Estes on the inside of Brio, these two fighting for 5th. The 31 of Matthew Kent sitting behind the 00 of Dustin Painter. Those two drafting into the 3rd corner, battling it out for that 14th position. Briley Wright in the 2.9 has 0.3 of a second comfortably for that 6th spot. Tom Sears starting to lose ground as the tires might be wearing enough to start to knock off the lap times. The number 9 of Seth Wansing to the inside of the 2-time champion. This is the move for the bronze medal spot. And Wansing comfortably gets around Sears, who will indeed come down pit road at an enormous amount of speed. He crosses that line at 45 miles an hour, and he gets it woed down for tires, fuel, and any other adjustments. And right on cue, Tom Sears comes into pit road 35 laps into this race. Cody Pennell continues to lead Aiden Norman by 0.3 of a second. And what kind of games will be played now? Pennell running the low line. Is he entering pit lane? He is not. He will come up out of turn number 4, leading Norman by half a second now. Is Pennell playing the role of the hare, opening the gap, trying to force the 6-2 into a mistake? Or is the 6-2 of Norman simply holding back and waiting for the 2-8 to come down pit road? Jason Alexander now behind Noah Belleville. This is the fight for the 6th position. Belleville still hasn't come down to fix the damage on that 4-1. We're now inside 100 laps from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And if you've recently tuned in, don't forget, exclamation point TNT Giveaway 13 is your ticket for a chance to win a Carl Edwards sheet metal or a Jeff Gordon diecast. You can check it out on TNT and Rick James TV Twitter. Toby Estes getting around Richie Catania. Estes in the 78. Coming out of pit road with fresh tires, Tom Sears has the eyes of the TNT community upon him. Everybody waiting to see what kind of lap times he's going to put on the board. This time around, Cousin Cody leading Aiden Norman by a tenth of a second. 30.96 seconds for the Georgian. It's his best time, and both of them scraping the wall in turn number 1. Cody Pennell still bravely leading Aiden Norman as Ricardo Catania will come back up onto the racetrack. How about Seth Wansing in third? And will Pennell use the 2-4 as a pick? Here comes the 6-2 of Norman trying to apply pressure. Squeeze the 3-time Season 4 winner down the front straight. Cousin Cody leading by a car length into turn number 1. Less than a car length into turn number 1. Norman again using the inside. Pennell on the top side. Cody taking the longer route, but he has a faster exit speed than Aiden Norman. Cody Riggs has decided he wants to come down pit road for tires, fuel, and the rest. And there is the native son of Greensburg, Kentucky. Jeremy Brio in that 7-4 machine works his way into fourth. Briley right behind him by a quarter of a second. Matthew Kent also making good headway. He's just a quarter of a second behind Dustin Painter into turn number 1. Aiden Norman to the inside of Cody Pennell. Is this the moment that the 6-2 takes the lead? It just might be. Aiden Norman, new leader at Charlotte, 41 laps into this race. Cody Pennell in second, and how will the gap grow with the wearing tires on these two cars? All of the top 14, including New Jersey's Patrick Allen, have not come down pit road. Defending champion Thomas Andrews in that number 2 MGD machine. Last time around, 33.74 seconds. Cody Pennell's decided it's now his turn to come in, and he will do exactly that. The number 28 coming down for tires and fuel. Jason Alexander will join him down pit road. And the Salem, South Carolinian will get 4 tires and fuel, no doubt. Tristan Catania on the top side will move into the 17th position. Catania finding himself 1 lap off the pace, but Catania did pit on lap 37. John Honeybrink exiting pit road. Aiden Norman leading Briley Wright by 4.5 seconds. All of the top 5, including local driver Ryan Pennell, have not come down pit road, make that the top 8 now. Dustin Painter has collected 11 places since he started this race. How about Elrich George? The Clearwater Assassin up 14 places since he started. How long will he stretch these tires, though? We're certain to find out. Noah Belleville just ahead, back into the top 3 for the first time since he shunted the turn 4 wall, and Belleville will come down to a halt. Aiden Norman has decided he's going to come down pit road, and the Wonder Bread Dodge is in. And it's no wonder with the tires going 44 laps on that 62 machine. So your new leader all the way from Nassau in the Bahamas, Elrich George. 0.9 of a second over Ryan Pennell. There they go out of turn number 4. George is going to dive in. So the local flavor of the week, Ryan Pennell becomes your new leader. He will lead the 44th lap of competition. The number 12 Ford Fusion sits ahead of Matt Kent, who's in second. Elrich George in third. JK3 also coming down pit road. Tom Sears, last time around, 31.44 seconds. Ryan Pennell, 33.36, so almost 2 seconds of advantage for the Massachusetts native. And we're going to see, there it is, there you can see the advantage, 2.3 seconds between Tom Sears and Matt Kent. And over the last 5 laps, Sears quicker than Kent, quicker than Estes as well. Tomo trying to get back onto the top spot, and he's going to do exactly that. Ryan Pennell and Matt Kent decide they're going to come down pit road. Tires, fuel, and all the rest. Your new leader from Southampton, Massachusetts, Tom Sears. Hey, Mountain Kilimanjaro's in the chat. He's entered the giveaway as well. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 1-3 for your chance to win a piece of Carl Edwards sheet metal or a Jeff Gordon diecast. One modern, one retro. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out on TNT Twitter or Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. It is a Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, top 3, 47 laps into this 13th round of competition. This is what the points are shaping up like. Tom Sears sits ahead of Aiden Norman by 8 solitary points. Cousin Cody, 18 points off of second place. Jason Alexander in 4th by 42 points, I think, if my math is correct, which it never is. Norman went green last time around, 30.99 seconds, his personal best. This time, let's see what the clock says. 30.89 seconds, 1/10 faster. And he's currently 0.3 of a second faster than Cody Pennell. 4 seconds is their difference now in this second green flag stint. And have a look at Seth Wansing. He's trying to do it the hard way, going on the outside of Jeremy Brio. Wansing comfortably slotted into that 5th position. Further on back, Jason Alexander, now with those fresh tires, looking to make some headway. He and Elrich George pitting between laps 41 and 45. Alexander, half a second behind the Bahamian, who's rounding out the top 12. Tom Sears ahead of Toby Estes by 0.6 of a second. Elrich George and Matt Kent going green last time around. And over the last 5 laps, this has been the gap between them, and you can see Toby Estes has been clawing in that 14 Supra little by little. We'll see how much longer it takes for the 7.8 to get up to the 1.4. That last time around, Tom Sears, 31.92. Toby Estes, 0.8 slower, 32 dead. How about the gap between Cody Pennell and Aiden Norman? That's what they look like over the last 5 laps. Norman consistently putting in lap times that are quicker than Pennell. But how about that? No telemetry for laps 49 and 50. Not sure what that means for Norman. We'll see if we get some telemetry this time around. Aiden Norman pitting on lap 43. And again, let's see what the gap is this time. There it is. 7/100ths of a second between Aiden and Norman. Cody Pennell now on the outside of Toby Estes. The Georgian looking to redeem himself this season. He started with a bang, getting the W at North Wilkesboro, and he has not won since. He's been on the top step 4 times total in TNT, 3 times in his debut season last time around, and he's looking to score his 5th Thursday Night Thunder win. He's your new leader on the 54th lap of competition. That's what 2.8 seconds looks like as Aiden Norman starts to creep into the rearview mirror of Toby Estes. This is what the world looks like from third place. And there is that battle for second place. Toby Estes on the inside of Tom Sears. The Kentucky driver puts two wheels on that azure-colored line on the inside of turn 1 and 2. Gets right up to that Dayglow yellow 213simware.com Supra. And look who's caught up in the distance. Aiden Norman looking for that 6th victory this season. Where will he go? The 7-8 trying to make as much time as possible, but the 6-2 has caught up. How is Norman going to get around them now? We'll see what moves he can pull off. Trying to split them up the middle. There goes Aiden Norman with great timing right through the vacuum in the middle, and Norman cleverly makes his way into second place. Clever cookie. The 6-2 of Aiden Norman. What a pass. For second, have one more look. Just tucks his way into it. And Norman now 2.8 seconds behind Cody Pennell. Norman going 43 laps on that first stint. Quick maths will tell you he'll make it to lap 86 before he needs to come down for tires and fuel. Tom Sears outside the top 3. Aiden Norman in second, Toby Estes in third, Seth Wansing 5 seconds behind the Massachusetts pilot. Further on back, Jason Alexander now coming up behind the 3-1 of Matthew Kent. Cody Riggs in that 14th position, 5/10 off of Dustin Painter in the 13th spot. Let's ride shotgun with the North Carolinian. Sometimes a rhythm track, sometimes more technical for these drivers. Dustin Painter in his homecoming race, just like Ryan Pennell, looking to score a top 10, and he's not far off it. Seth Wansing trying to do one better. He's now trying to stay ahead of Jeremy Brio in 5th, while making time on Tom Sears in the 5th position. There's the gap over the last 5 laps. Sears consistently slower than Wansing at this point in the race. But again, pit stops coming in just about 7 laps for this driver here. One car in the wall behind them. Not sure who that was out of turn number 4. It's Patrick Allen in the 4-5. He's stuck on the wall. He jumps to pit road. That looked like Jeremy Brio that just tried to get around him. And Noah Belleville as well, possibly. Have a look at Patrick Allen. And the 4-5, Georgia Pacific Dodge. Scraping the long side of the outside retaining wall for the fun of it. Luckily, nobody else involved in that accident. And the 45 will bow out of yet again another Thursday Night Thunder race. Brio, 0.3 of a second behind Seth Wansing. Here's going to be a battle for 5th. Central Florida's Richard Catania coming up behind Greensburg, Kentucky's Cody Riggs. This is the fight for that 14th position. Catania running a bit of a part-time schedule this season as well, but still doing his best, showing up when he can. And Cody Riggs on the outside of John Honeybrink. The Talladega winner finds himself in the 20th position, 1 lap off the pace. Seth Wansing getting around Tom Sears for position, and look at this jumble here. Jeremy Brio on the inside. Tom Sears with a big slide out of that second corner, wiggling down the back straight as Brio tries to force room on the inside of the 14 and does so. Brio opens a window on the inside of the 2-time champion and sneaks into 5th, following in the wake of Seth Wansing. Thomas Andrews in the 18th position, 1 lap off the pace. Tommy Wither sitting in 16th is the lucky dog for the time being. He is the first car 1 lap down. So if the caution does come out, he does get a lap back, while Richie Catania is the last car on the lead lap. Cousin Cody Pennell just behind the 2-4 of Catania. Aiden Norman, 1 and some tenths of a second behind him. Let's call it 1.5 seconds now out of the second corner. Inside of the final 65 laps of racing now. Drivers could be making what may be a final stop if some guys want to stretch it, but they'll really need to get the most out of this stint now. John Honeybrink has decided he wants to come into the pits, and the Home Depot Powerade Chevy might have some different ideas on pit strategy. Seth Wansing's on the outside of Toby Estes. These two duking it out for 3rd. Tom Sears on the outside of defending champion Thomas Andrews. This isn't for position. Richie Catania finally getting around Cody Riggs and making it into the 14th spot. Riggs on the high side trying to avoid Aiden Norman, who's stuck in just a bit of traffic, which could be some well-needed breathing space for Cody Pennell. Cousin Cody sitting happily in that first spot, getting a little bit of time, but now there's nothing but moonlight between Cody Pennell and Aiden Norman, so the chase is on while Cody Riggs does his best to save that race car. Here he goes up into the wall again, and he gets on the brakes just soon enough to avoid scraping any more rose-colored paint off the side of that black number 3. Shout out to everybody at Smokey's Bar in Greensburg, Kentucky as well. They've been some viewers of TNT in the past. and still are. Should still mention. So Tom Sears comes down pit road to start the second round of green flag pit stops. We've been caution-free since the race started 73 laps ago, and we now have officially 60 circuits remaining in the Queen City. And the floodgates have opened because everybody's on their way into pit lane. Toby Estes is in. Tommy Withers in the number 6 is right behind him and leading that procession for service on the race cars is Cody Riggs, who will come to a halt. And now Toby Estes takes his Budweiser Monte Carlo to a stop. Cody Pennell ahead of Aiden Norman by 1.5 seconds. Seth Wansing still on the inside of Brio while Jimmy Kerr watches all of this unfold. Let's ride shotgun with Kerr. JK3, another one of those North Carolinians on a homecoming run of the racetrack as Seth Wansing decides it's his turn to come down pit road for tires and fuel, and the Missouri pilot will bring his Jeff Gordon liveried Chevrolet for service. They continue to cycle around. Cousin Cody has also come down pit road, so Aiden Norman is once again your new leader. He last pitted on lap 43. He's got a 6-second advantage over Jeremy Brio. And how about welcoming Dustin Painter into the top 6, possibly the top 5. The North Carolinian tries to get to that inside of the 31, strip him of anything he can hold on to that 5th position. And now Kent down to 6th. Dustin Painter fixes his way into 5th. He's up 14 places from where he started. The race leader is in. Aiden Norman comes down into the pits. 48 miles an hour now as he crawls down pit road. Has to be careful not to speed. Steadily at 48 miles an hour, I should say. Tires, fuel, and all the rest. Here comes cousin Cody Pennell right behind him. Is Pennell coming in for a second time? Pennell already in 15th in the pits. He's going to exit after the 28 of Norman. Is it some sort of strategy? Is he trying to make the tires last longer? But Norman on his way out, gaining speed as the 6 of Tommy Withers thunders around the 62 Wonderbred Dodge. Being careful not to cross that blue line, incur any sort of penalties. Norman back up to speed in the 8th position. Cousin Cody in 19th, now exiting pit road 2 laps off the pace, and it may very well have been a speeding penalty or a pit exit penalty for the 2-8, who up until this point was running the best race of his season, starting the season with a win at North Wilkesboro. Pennell now in the 19th spot, 2 laps off the pace. Jeremy Brio's your race leader, and all of the top 6 have yet to come down pit road. Brio should be at his limits. There is Aiden Norman on the inside of the Pennsylvania driver, and the 6-2 now begins his march back up to the top. Matt Kent and Dustin Painter no longer close. They're separated by a full second, but Jason Alexander is now the next challenger on the 31. How about the local driver, Ryan Pennell? He hasn't pitted yet, but he's in the 3rd position. What if the gamble pays off for him? The son of Mooresville, North Carolina, the graduate of the University of North Carolina, and a big Tar Heels fan looking to pull some of that energy into his race car. And who knows, if the chips land just right, you're going to see this driver fighting for the win. We've got 50 laps to go from iRacing's Charlotte. Fans at home, if you have not yet put in exclamation point TNT giveaway 13, what are you waiting for? Don't miss your chance. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for a chance to win Carl Edwards sheet metal or a Jeff Gordon diecast. Check out the pictures that are going to be on Rick James TV Twitter and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. And even the folks watching on Roku can play as well. Make sure that you get that code in on your Twitch chat. Don't miss your chance to win. Jason Alexander comes down pit road for tires and fuel. The South Carolinian looking for some service on his Camaro. Aiden Norman goes green for the 3rd time in this race. 30.88 seconds. And the former Infantry Racing League driver looking to get a 6th victory this season. Tom Sears, who started this race leading, I believe, the first 40-some laps of competition. Or maybe not that much, but he led quite a bit. He's in 8th right now. He finds himself 0.8 of a second behind Toby Estes, the Kentucky driver. Now over. Has something gone on with the 62? Aiden Norman, no, just a glitch, a blink from the 62, if you will. He dropped positions quick. But luckily everything's okay. There goes the 6-2 trying to get around the 6 of Tommy Withers. A little bit of difficulty for Norman. Withers not giving him all the room in the world. And race leader Jeremy Brio now gives up the top spot. Elridge George will lead another lap. And the Sony Vega. Alltel Dodge, I don't know how many sponsors are on that thing, but we all know it as the Ryan Newman car, is now your new leader. And how about North Carolina's Dustin Painter in the 2nd position? He's holding off another North Carolinian behind him, Ryan Pennell. Matt Kent in 4th, 6-time winner Aiden Norman in 5th. Quickly approaching 40 laps to go. Jeremy Brio exiting pit road. He's got fresh tires after pitting on lap 85. Brio finds himself in 14th, 1 lap off the pace. He is the lucky dog, while Tristan Catania is the last car on the lead lap in his 4.8 Ally Camaro. Another pilot from New Jersey. Sitting in 13th. Another New Jersey driver, Thomas Andrews, sitting in 2nd. And Patrick Allen in 21st with no hope. Dustin Painter's in 2nd. He's gained some time over Ryan Pennell, but Aiden Norman has gotten around the 12 car. Is something gone on with that 12 car? Possibly losing fuel pressure or something. He's real slow on his way around turn number 3, but he won't come down pit road yet. Dustin Painter will. Elridge George will come down pit road. That's going to make Aiden Norman your new leader at Charlotte. Just outside 43 laps to go. Aiden Norman, will he stretch it all the way, or will he come down once more for tires and for fuel? How about Tommy Withers trying to get to the inside of Matt Kent, doing it the hard way on the left-hand side of that 31 Dodge? Tom Sears back up to the 5th position. Cousin Cody Pennell down in 18th. Last time around, 31.59 seconds. Aiden Norman, 32.1. Pennell currently faster than the leader, but troubles on his 2nd pit stop of the evening required him to serve a penalty. At least that's what it looks like. And Pennell now trying to fight Cody Riggs for 17th. Jeremy Brio went green, 30.99 seconds. His second fast, he's 30.93. I'm sorry, I cannot read. 30.93 seconds is Jeremy Brio's best time as Cody Riggs throws up some sparks. The Pennsylvania pilot moves into 7th. How about Ryan Pennell and Toby Estes about to exchange positions? Pennell down to 3rd, Estes into the silver medal slot. He is 5 seconds off of race leader Aiden Norman. Seth Wansing now getting around Ryan Pennell as the North Carolinian decides it's his turn to come into the pits. But take a look at the ticker on the left-hand side. It's 41 laps to go. Next time by, is Ryan Pennell planning to stretch this fuel? He's gone longer than 41 laps. He could be throwing a Hail Mary and gambling, but there's always a chance that that ball is going to be caught in the end zone. We'll see what Ryan Pennell has cooking. We'll see how it tastes at the end of the race. Aiden Norman about to put Matt Kent a second lap down. Jason Alexander, the current lucky dog, in his 5.6 machine, and now that goes to Tommy Withers, who's been put a lap down. Seth Wansing moving to his inside. That's not for position as Wansing holds the bronze medal spot. Tom Sears going to challenge Wansing for that 3rd position. Elridge George and Dustin Painter about to duel it out for that 11th spot. Let's ride on board with the 40 Dodge. Belleville on the outside of Matt Kent. Belleville's going to be relegated down to 17th. Dustin Painter in the 00, still holding on to that 10th position. What a great homecoming run it would be for him if he can hold on for another 40-some laps. John Honeybrink comes back into the pits for service, and the Talladega winner not showing any shades of victory. He revs the engine and gets ready to rocket out of the pits. Aiden Norman leading Toby Estes by 0.6 of a second. Another blink for Aiden Norman, having some internet connectivity issues in that 6.2, but it looks like he's not going to be blinking anymore. He's got 6.8 seconds on Toby Estes. Seth Wansing starting to reel in the Kentucky driver, and how about Jason Alexander right up the backside of Elridge George with Dustin Painter in tow. Tommy Withers also a few tenths of a second ahead. This is 8th through 12th. Two by two, 2 rows deep down the back straight. George to the outside. And it looks like Elridge George is going to slot himself into the 8th position. Good for the Bahamian. Jason Alexander into 9th, and Dustin Painter will still hold on to 10th, while Tommy Withers goes down to 11th, and Tom Sears in the 4th position will move around the Virginian. Elridge George now seeing a big blue shadow come up into his rear view mirror. The 56 lifts off the throttle to get a good run down the back straight, and he's got a great look on the left-hand side of that number 40 Dodge. Jason Alexander running the middle line, trying to put a slide job on the 40. And he just can't quite pull it off. Great run out of turn number 4 for George, but he's opened the door for Dustin Painter, who's got a great run on the inside of turn 1. Painter looking to get a draft off the 5.6, and he just can't pull that off. Here comes Elridge George on the inside of Jason Alexander. Great battle so far for 8th. Painter just waiting his turn, being patient with it so he can be smooth with it. Cousin Cody now coming up on Matty Kent. This is going to be for the 14th position. Pinnell 1 lap off the pace. Quite a ways away from the lucky dog, which is Elridge George. He is the first car 1 lap down. Richie Catania has come into the pits, and the number 2-4 will come to a screeching halt while he gets tires and fuel. Painter trying to get every inch he can of the racetrack. You saw the car shoot up just a bit. Toby Estes has Seth Wansing all under his rear wing. 0.3 of a second behind him, while Jason Alexander and Elridge George do battle into 3. Local says Wansing is moving pretty fast. He's gaining on Aiden a little bit. We're going to have 30 laps to go. What will Seth Wansing be able to come up with? He's got to get around Toby Estes first, and he's trying. Cody Riggs coming down into the pits in a drag race for second, while a single file battle for 8th starts to form behind them. And this is where it starts to get interesting. How do the guys behind these two black cars in the front, get around them without disturbing their fight? Seth Wansing trying to sneak up to Toby Estes for second. Still one more pit stop. We presume for most of these drivers, Ryan Pinnell came down on lap 91. Last time around, he put in a 31.5. Look at this, 3 wide down the back straight as Elridge George tries to get a piece of this action. Toby Estes opening up the middle lane for Jason Alexander, and it looks like a plate race out of 4. 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, and into turn 1 they go. Ryan Pinnell watching all of this unfold, and here they go once again. Will they hit that 3 wide formation into turn 3? It's starting to get dangerous and dicey. Elridge George looking for a way to the inside. Toby Estes sparks up on the outside wall, and there he goes again, 4 wide into that 4th corner. Elridge George makes it interesting by going to the inside, now trying to get one on Seth Wansing. The 5-6 of Jason Alexander hangs back. Dustin Painter in the 0-0 will follow the Bahamian through the first corner. He bounces off of that blue line, still trying to follow the wake of that number 40 Intrepid and the Hot Hughes Monte Carlo of Seth Wansing. Drag racing with the 40, not for position on the board, but track position. Seth Wansing has a 4-second advantage on Toby Estes, who just lost it all in this exchange. Have a look. Estes just gets into the wall, and 4 wide between them all. Estes having to regain his composure. He's lost 4th to Briley Wright, and he will come down pit road, presumably to get that damage fixed that he picked up on the right-hand side of his car. Briley Wright in that 4th position, 10 seconds ahead of Jeremy Brio. 5 cars remain on the lead lap. Tristan Catania, the last of, well, never mind. Tristan just ruined it. He's now the first car 1 lap down in the 6th position. Jeremy Brio is now the car that's last on the lead lap as Aiden Norman opens his advantage over Seth Wansing to 8 seconds. And over the last 5 laps, there you can see Wansing not consistently slower than Aiden Norman, but in these final 25 laps, it's going to take quite a performance from Wansing to get anywhere close to the 6-time TNT winner. Painter in the 0-0 still battling to get further ahead, and both of these cars trying to fight to be the hardest charger. Elridge George and Dustin Painter both up 11 places from where they started. How about Cody Riggs with some fresh tires trying to get to the inside of the North Carolinian? Riggs in 19th. 4 seconds off the pace of Tommy Withers in 18th. Noah Belleville, who had a great start to this race, ruined by going just a bit too wide in turn number 4, making some heavy contact with that outside wall. He's going to try and get into 13th as he goes to the left side of Jimmy Kerr the third. Matthew Kent is next, 12 seconds up ahead. Dustin Painter watching Cody Riggs make easy work of Elridge George, who's in the wall and lost a ton of speed. He'll lose 7th place to Elridge George, and here comes Ryan Pennell in 9th, pitted on lap 91, and it's probably the last pit stop he's going to try to make. And you can see Pennell blinking a bit, and hopefully those internet issues don't plague him for the rest of the race. How about Jeremy Brio into 4th as Briley Wright makes his final pit stop of the night. Tom Sears in 3rd, 9 seconds off of Seth Wansing, and Seth Wansing almost 9 seconds off of race leader Aiden Norman. Dustin Painter holding on to 6th now as pit stops cycle through. Toby Estes goes green, 30.78 seconds for the Kentucky driver. He's in 10th. Painter and George side by side once again. 21 to go next time by, and these two fighting hard for 6th. .21 laps now remain on the board. Seth Wansing has decided he's going to come down into the pits, get the tires and fuel he can get for the final 20 laps of competition, and go like stink. Ryan Pennell has crashed. The local driver, Ryan Pennell. Nope, just a glitch once again from that blinking. My mistake. Didn't mean to alarm everybody. Seth Wansing and Tom Sears getting service. Cody Pennell leaving pit road after running his final stop of the night. Race leader Aiden Norman has decided he's going to come in. He will not get caught out. Norman, with the weight of the world on his young shoulders, coming down for tires, fuel, and hopefully he doesn't commit the same errors that have plagued his rivals. A pit lane violation would cripple him now. 6-2 of Norman. Putting on right sides, left sides. He's down and away. And Aiden Norman will rejoin the field. As the 5-6, the 7-8 go around him. Norman careful not to cross that blue line as he comes back up onto the racing surface. Richie Catania on the outside of the 6-2. And Norman is back up to racing speed. That's going to put Jeremy Brio into the lead. He last pitted on lap 85. He would go 47 laps if he were to stretch his fuel. The distance, Elridge George pitted on lap 88. Dustin Painter pitted on lap 88. Ryan Pennell on lap 91. How about Toby Estes? He pitted on lap 105. He's up into second. Estes ahead of Norman by 3.3 seconds, but Norman closing in enormously. Did Estes go just for 2 tires rather than 4? Says he has a 15-second pit stop. Not sure how fast that was. Aiden Norman, his pit stop, 15.17, so it does look like a 4-tire pit stop for Toby Estes. Aiden Norman pitting 8 laps after Toby Estes. Local cheering for him in the chat says, get back out front, go 6-2. B-Fog cheering for Tom Sears in the 1-4. The Massachusetts driver sits behind the reigning champion, and 2 championships overtake 1 TNT championship. Tom Sears in 11th now as he also gets around Jimmy Kerr the third. Aiden Norman goes green for the fourth time tonight. 30.88 seconds, but so does Seth Wansing. He also goes green. 30.94 seconds. Norman now 2.5 seconds behind Toby Estes, coming to 15 laps to go. Jeremy Brio has yet to pit, and he's got an 8-second advantage over Toby Estes. Tristan Catania goes green, his personal best of 30.97 seconds. George and Painter still fighting it out. How far will these two go? They have definitely put on the best show all night long, and even Ryan Pennell hanging with these two. You're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. Pennell's internet still holding tough with 14 laps to go next time by. Jeremy Brio's advantage is down to 6.5 seconds, while Toby Estes' advantage down to within 1.5 seconds. Aiden Norman just sawing away at the advantage on that 7-8. Ryan Pennell has gone around. Tristan Catania gets into the 12 of Ryan Pennell, who does a spin. Pennell still keeps it moving. No harm, no foul. We keep it green at Charlotte. 13 to go next time by. A spooky, unlucky spin by Ryan Pennell, but he keeps it moving. Have a look. You'll see that 4-8. What looks like almost inadvertently spin, just a big blink out of the 12. Nothing that could be done. Richie Catania seemingly going through Ryan Pennell. We keep it green. Aiden Norman has gotten around Toby Estes with 12 laps to go. Jeremy Brio has a 4-second advantage over Aiden Norman. How long will that last with 30 laps of wear between their tires? Brio trying to get around reigning champion Thomas Andrews. Jimmy Kerr on the outside. A dozen laps remain, and it's 2.5 seconds between Brio and Norman. Thomas Andrews scraping the outside wall as Brio gets to the inside. 11 laps remain, and there is Aiden Norman in the shadow of the leaders. 1:0 to go next time by. Aiden Norman, half a second away from race leader Jeremy Brio. The 7-4 using the lapped cars as a pick. The 7-5 of Kerr in front of the 6-2. Cody Riggs to the inside. Jimmy Kerr's in the wall. 3 wide, and Riggs makes contact with the 6-2 of Norman. On the outside now, Cody Riggs up to the middle lane. Jeremy Brio defending low. Aiden Norman running high. The 6-2 on the outside and to the point, and the race lead with 10 laps to go. New leader, car 62, Aiden Norman. Jimmy Kerr on the top side, trying to defend the position from Toby Estes in the 78 car. Kerr sitting in 13th and out racing Estes for position, who's in 3rd. Estes trying to get around defending champion Thomas Andrews, who's sitting in that 12th position. Local cheering in the chat says, "Oh my, Norman to the lead." Fans, don't forget, exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 is your ticket to winning that Carl Edwards sheet metal or that Jeff Gordon diecast. Check it out on Twitter, Rick James Twitter, and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. Fans watching on Roku can also participate. Jump into Twitch, type in exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for your chance to win. And how about these two going to give us a grandstand finish? Elridge George and Dustin Painter will fight to the very end. How about John Honeybrink and Jason Alexander fighting to the very end as well? Not for position, but still fighting to the very end. Christian also cheering for Aiden Norman. And it has to be said about the driver of the 6'2". He brings in fans week after week. Big shout out to all the boys and girls from Infantry Racing League. And a shout out to all fans in the chat. At Old Dirty is in the giveaway as well. He puts in exclamation point TNT giveaway 13. He's got a chance. Thomas Andrews, Tristan Catania fighting side by side now. Five to go. Next time by. Aiden Norman up to a 5-second advantage. And only a caution can reel him back now. Elridge George just ahead of Dustin Painter. These two fighting for the hard charger of the race. Painter gets to the inside of the Bahamian. Does George have a response on the inside? And he just doesn't. Dustin Painter with a textbook pass on Elridge George. He moves into 5th and is now the race's hardest charger. How about Noah Belleville with some last-minute dramatics? He's trying to overtake Matt Kent for a spot in the top 10. Jason Alexander on the outside of defending champion Thomas Andrews. The South Carolinian will make his way into 14th and stay there. Ryan Pinnell in that 9th position, 6 seconds ahead of Matthew Kent, who's being overtaken by Noah Belleville. And Dustin Painter opens his advantage to half a second over Elridge George. Christian says, don't you say that dirty C word. He's talking about the caution word. Back when Pete and I were doing broadcasts on Xbox, we had a Rick James dictionary, and that was definitely under C. It's possible. Crazier things have happened. And there's another C word in the chat from Phil. Noah Belleville fighting side by side with Matty Kent. Again, this the battle for 10th. Elridge George still in the shadow of Dustin Painter, but that battle for 5th might just be over. Jeremy Brio and Seth Wansing, they're within 0.8 of a second to each other, and over the last 5 laps, there you see Jeremy Brio consistently slower over the last 2 laps than Seth Wansing. The Missouri driver trying to get that 3rd position away from the Pennsylvania pilot. White flag will be out next time by for Aiden Norman. Seth Wansing looking to make some sparks in these final 3 miles. The Missouri driver to the inside. And the Kansas City native tries to come away with that 3rd position. Brio will give Wansing all the room he needs. Races like a gentleman. And he will watch the 9 sail off into that 3rd position. Elridge George ahead of Aiden Norman, it looks like. That is the race leader, Aiden Norman, who's coming through that 2nd corner. It's been quite a race with an unexpected finish, as we thought other drivers would have a say in this, but it's been nothing but dominance from this driver here. The 6'2" of Aiden Norman comes off of turn number 4, and he will win round 13 at Charlotte. Elridge George has room for one last-ditch effort, but he's just not close enough to Dustin Painter. Painter will come away with 5th. Elridge George will finish in the 6th position. How about Briley Wright with a last-minute pass on Elridge George? And Briley Wright sneaks 6th place away from George. A 1/4 of a second is the gap between them. And how about this driver here? Aiden Norman has done it once again. He's beaten all the odds, and he has impressed the Thursday Night Thunder field. He will celebrate once again, and the driver of the 6'2" will be on the top spot of the podium. Toby Estes, Seth Wansing will also join us on the podium. The 6'2" will deservedly burn the house down in Charlotte. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have podium interviews in just a moment. Your winner tonight in the Queen City, Aiden Norman. On the podium with our top three this evening, fans, one last chance to get a diecast or a piece of sheet metal from Carl Edwards Race Car. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 13 for a chance to win. We're going to announce the winners right after our Toby Estes interview. But before we get there, we're going to start with Seth Wansing in the 9, driver of that awesome liveried Chip Foose Hot Hues paint scheme. Seth, aside from the awesome paint scheme, awesome race as well. I can't remember the last time you finished on the podium, man. Congratulations on third.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a bit since I got to run TNT, and the last two times I've ran it this season, just had some really bad luck. Been running top two or three with chances to win. The three races I've ran just can't pull through, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes and beyond. Happy I could have a nice run. Um, Wish I would have played the first pit stop a little bit better to keep intact with Aiden and uh and Toby a little bit. Felt like I was always playing catch up. I really liked my long run speed. Felt like I was one of, if not the best long run car. But hey, congrats to Aiden. He drove a hell of a race. Congrats to Toby. Shout out to my teammate Cody. He had some bad luck there with some penalties, but nevertheless, I had a lot of fun. Charlotte's a fun track, and hopefully make a few more TNT races. See if I can't make it back into the win column. But nice out of the few races I've ran so far to get back on the podium. After the last two I've ran, just stupid mistakes took me out of one.
Everything clicks, and you end up with a bronze medal tonight. Congratulations, Seth, and hopefully we see you in a week at Michigan.
You will. Thank you, sir.
On to our silver medalist tonight, one of those bluegrass bandits, Mr. Toby Estes, finishing in second. 4 wins last season, Toby, and it looks like finally you're back to your normal self. Great job finishing second.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely didn't get to run as much this year as I planned to, but I went into the race tonight not expecting to do this good. Didn't have a lot of practice. Little different pit strategy I was doing right from the start, but didn't have enough for Aiden. He's pretty quick, especially when he caught me with the tires that I was on. I mean, I'd already wore my stuff out, just pushing just to get as far up as I could, so there was no need to hold him up. But shout out to the Bluegrass Bandits and all my teammates. It was a fun night.
I'm glad you had fun. Shout out to everybody out there in Greensburg, and a special hello to the folks at Smokies, man. Next week, Michigan International. Will we see you?
It's a 50-50. I hope to be there. You know, family plays a lot of the roles, whether I can race or not. So, but if God willing, hopefully I will be able to race.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in 7 days, hopefully. Congratulations on second.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Time to announce those winners. It is time to announce those winners. Let's close this giveaway and let's see who's got their hands on those prizes. We're going to close these entries. 3 people will win tonight. Let's start off with that piece of Carl Edwards sheet metal. You saw the pictures on Twitter, and now we're going to give it away. The winner of that Carl Edwards sheet metal is Christian. Has won the Carl Edwards sheet metal. Now for the Jeff Gordon diecast, the 2020. Is it the 2020 diecast? The modern one, not the retro one. Let's give away that modern Jeff Gordon 164. That's going to go to Mount Kilimanjaro. Wins the modern day Jeff Gordon car. And now for that Racing Champions retro Jeff Gordon 164. Your winner is, how about Doug Norris? Good old Doug Norris, my buddy D, winning that Jeff Gordon diecast as well. Doug, we're going to send you that retro Jeff Gordon diecast. Keep in touch with us on Rick James TV, Twitter, or you know how to get a hold of the boys through the Discord. So congratulations to our 3 winners tonight. We're going to get you those prizes as soon as possible. Shout out Christian, Phil, Doug Norris, and thank you everybody else for playing. Next week, we're going to give away another diecast, and normally we don't let the previous week's winner win next week, but screw it. Everybody can win next week. We've never had 3 winners before, but it's been a fun season of giveaways so far. So Doug, Christian, and Phil are all eligible to win this following week. Let's talk to Aiden, shall we? Aiden Norman, 6 wins this season. And you will go into Michigan next week with a 4-point lead over Tom Sears. You are the new Thursday Night Thunder points leader.
Yeah, that feels good. It's been coming all season. Obviously, I've been trying to push hard and get there, and we're finally here. But obviously, there's a lot of risk to lose it too, because there's still 3 races to go. So,
quarterfinals next week in the Irish Hills of Michigan. After a stunning performance tonight, but really you've got to say that at this point, with the best one in the world, it's getting old at this point. Aiden, 6 wins in dominating fashion. What is there more to achieve at this point, and what can we take from this week into next week's race at Michigan?
I mean, we can always go for 9 wins, Rick, but let's be honest, I doubt that's happening. From this week, though, and just take this patience that I had, like, all race. I wasn't trying to push anything. I wasn't trying to make crazy moves. I was just waiting until I saw the chance, and I took them. So that helped me out a lot.
A chance well taken. And now you get to go into Michigan next week looking for win number 7. But for now, time to celebrate win number 6. Congratulations once again. And who knows, Aiden, maybe 9 wins is on the cards, but we got to get through a few more races first, man. Congratulations. We'll see you in a week.
Thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, that does it once again. Another round, another chapter of TNT is in the books, and what a pleasant race it was. After a 2-week break, but after a 1-week break, after the race at Twin Ring Motegi, we're back on home soil, and we will be on home soil for the remainder of the season. Next week at Michigan International, the semifinal at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and then the championship final from Homestead, Miami. And I do so hope that you'll be there with us for each and every one of those races. Be sure to head on over to racearcs.com for more info on TNT and the rest of the racing series in the Alliance Racing Championship Series. And until that next race, everybody, please be safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all around the